NYGATS training, NYISO data reporting, and data review. In this video, we will cover the following topics. What data is NYISO reporting? Timeline for NYISO data reporting. Where is data reviewed, approving and disputing data? Prior period adjustments, validity check, and feasibility failures. What data is NYISO reporting? NYISO reports generation for all NYISO generating units settled in NYISO. A NYISO project will be registered for NYISO generating units in the account of the associated NYISO participant by the assigned PTID. NYISO projects can be reviewed in the NYGATS Account Dashboard's Project Management module. For a NYISO project that has multiple generating units aggregated into a single NYISO PTID, the account holder representing the project has the ability to register each generating unit as a unique non-NYISO project by selecting the Register New Project link in the Project Management module. The generation data for the non-NYISO project must be reported by a qualified independent party. Account holders that need to register generating units independently from the NYISO grouped PTID should contact the NYGATS administrator to mark the NYISO project registration with the grouped gen flag to prevent the NYISO generation from issuing certificates. If the output of an individual project is comprised of both RPS eligible and non-RPS eligible attributes, the account holder will register the project in NYGATS as a multi-field project with RPS eligible and non-RPS eligible versions of the same field type. In the project registration screen, select the Edit Field Type button to select the fuels. If a non-eligible version of the field type is not displayed, contact the NYGATS administrator for assistance. The RPS eligible fuel will be registered as New York RPS eligible yes, and the non-RPS eligible version of the field type will be registered as New York RPS eligible no. Timeline for NYISO data reporting. Generation data from NYISO generators will be automatically reported to NYGATS by NYISO. NYISO data will be reported to NYGATS between 11 and 14 days after the last day of the generation month. Generation can be reviewed, accepted, or disputed by the account holder for 14 days. Approved data after 14 days will be used for certificate issuance 15 days after the data was loaded. Additional information on data loading and certificate creation can be found in the Operating Procedure 9.1. Where is data reviewed, approving, and disputing data? When generation data is loaded for a project, the data can be reviewed, accepted, or disputed for 14 days after it is loaded. Loaded data can be reviewed from the Asset Management module's Review Data Self-Report column. The date displayed in the column is the last vintage loaded. The Self-Reporting Facility Project Output Data Review screen will display all generation reported for the project. The period data status in the left-hand column displays the status of all loaded generation. Generation data status. Certificates created is generation used for certificate issuance. NYGATS accepted is generation ready for certificate issuance. If data is not accepted within 14 days, certificates will be issued automatically on day 15. NYGATS pending status is generation data that's either failed engineering feasibility that requires administrator review or multi-fuel project that requires fuel allocations to be reported by the account holder. Account holder or admin accepted status is self-reported generation accepted by the account holder that will be used for issuance the day after being marked in account holder accepted status. Account holder or admin disputed is generation data in a disputed status that will not contribute to certificate issuance. Generation in disputed status must be resolved prior to the annual settlement date, June 30th of the next year. Pending data due to multi-fuel allocations not being entered will issue certificates at the annual settlement date using the primary fuel type. The account holder can log in to the data review screen of a multi-fuel project with pending data by accessing the data review screen self-report column located in the Asset Management module. Select the NYGATS pending status hyperlink to review the reported data and enter the allocation of the fuels used during that month. Prior period adjustments. NYISO will load generation data files once per month. Occasionally, there may be debits and credits in the current period as prior period NYISO settlement quality data is finalized. The account holder will be able to review the prior period adjustments during the account holder review period from the Review Data Self-Report screen. If certificates are created resulting from an adjustment, the vintage of the certificates shall reflect the month and year of the generation being adjusted. If certificates must be debited, fewer certificates will be created for the next vintage to issue certificates. After the settlement date associated with the vintage year, no further adjustments will be accepted by the NYGATS administrator. Validity check feasibility failure. NYGATS will conduct an automatic electricity production data validity check in order to ensure that erroneous and technically infeasible data is not entered into NYGATS. The data validity check will compare reported electricity production to an engineering estimate of maximum potential production calculated as a function of nameplate capacity, typical or seasonal, if available, capacity factor, and duration. If data reported exceeds an estimate of technically feasible generation by more than 2%, the NYGATS administrator will require the account holder to submit either settlement reports or meter readings to verify reported generation. Additional information on the topics covered in this training or any other questions you have about how to use your NYGATS account can be found in the NYGATS operating procedure. Additional questions can be submitted to the NYGATS administrator at nygats@apx.com or by phone at 408-643-0167.